Chapter 27 American Holidays, the Chinese Way. On TV, after someone gets rich, everything changes. They get servants and fancy clothes and big houses. After I got rich, none of these things happened. Mom said I'd have to get even richer for those things. But I didn't mind, because I had figured out what I wanted to do when I grew up. And just in time. Snow fell from the sky like clumps of white rice. The holiday season was here. Thanksgiving and Christmas are two of the most important holidays in the United States. It took Li Shi, Kai Kai, and me a long time to show Mom and Dad how to celebrate them right. Every year for Thanksgiving, we had to talk Mom into buying a turkey. "Why don't I get a chicken?" Mom would say. "A turkey is too big." "No!" we would all say in unison. "You have to eat turkey on Thanksgiving." Okay, she said. "But you have to eat the leftovers. Dad and I don't like turkey." Then Mom would rummage through the frozen food section, trying to find the smallest turkey possible. Li Shi tried to talk Mom into making mashed sweet potatoes, like they do on TV. Mom made them, but she didn't put them in a bowl like Americans did. She molded them into small cakes and then decorated them with herbs. They were like marigold-colored cupcakes with parsley sprinkles. We couldn't help but laugh when we saw them. "What?" Mom said. "Aren't they prettier this way?" Thanksgiving dinner at our house was always like that. We always had a lot of food covering the whole table. But it was full of glassy rice noodles, stir-fried shrimp, crispy fried fish, meaty dumplings, tangy sweet and sour pork, thick egg drop soup, white rice, and a very small turkey. The turkey was never in the middle of the table, but always on the side, because Mom only made it because we said we had to have it. "The Pilgrims didn't eat like this at the first Thanksgiving," Li Shi said. "They probably never ate Chinese food ever," I said.
"Ah, but if they did," Dad said, "I bet this is what they would have wanted for dinner."
Christmas was the same way. Everyone in our neighborhood hung up Christmas lights all over their houses and trees. We tried to get Dad to do the same. Dad hung the lights, but he didn't spend too much time doing it. Without putting on his coat or boots, he ran outside and threw them on a bush.
"Brr,"
he said, stomping the snow from his bedroom slippers.
"It's cold out there."
So, of course, while everyone else's lights were in nice arches and evenly spaced all over their trees and bushes, our lights looked like a blob with light bulbs flashing frantically for help.
"It looks more natural this way," Dad said when we complained. "If a bush were ever to grow electric, rainbow-colored blinking lights, I'm sure it would look more like our bush than anyone else's."
And Mom hated buying a Christmas tree. "The poor tree," Mom would say. "Do you know how many years it took for that tree to grow that big? And you want to cut it down just to decorate it for a couple of weeks? How about we just decorate my rubber tree plant? It is almost as big as that tree." They didn't understand at all. But they did get us Christmas presents. Chinese people usually don't give gifts. They give lucky red envelopes of money. Mom said it was much more practical that way. But we told them that for Christmas, we were supposed to get presents. "But it's the same as if I give you money," Mom would argue. "What's the difference? I buy it for you or you buy it for yourself?" We just shook our heads. "Okay," Mom said. "What do you want for Christmas?" Now this was more like Christmas. What did we want? Li Shi wanted clothes. Now that she was almost a teenager, she wanted to be stylish. Probably for boys. I thought clothes were the most boring gift ever. Kai Kai wanted more toy ponies. Her friend Sandy Pan had 100 ponies. Kai Kai only had 4. She wanted to catch up with Sandy. I didn't think Mom would buy her 96 ponies, though. What about you, Pacey? Mom asked. I thought hard. At first, I thought maybe I wanted some new paints and drawing paper. Ever since I decided I was going to write and draw books, I needed a lot of supplies. But somehow, that didn't seem special enough to be a Christmas gift. In books, Christmas gifts were always fancy toys or games. So I thought about what kind of toy I wanted. At school, we were reading about a pioneer girl. She had a doll with a bonnet and a cornflower blue calico apron. It had a rag body and a shiny clay head with painted blue eyes and black hair. They had called it a China doll. I decided I wanted one of those, so I could pretend I was a pioneer girl. I want a China doll, I told Mom. You know, the kind of dolls with the head made out of clay? I want one of those. Mom nodded her head. On Christmas morning, we were all excited to get up. Even though we already knew what our presents were, it was fun running to go open them. Lishi got a new pair of jeans and the peacock green and blue striped sweater she had wanted. Kai Kai got a lavender-colored toy pony with sparkling fake jewels on it. But I got a Chinese doll. It wasn't anything at all like what the pioneer girl had. It was a Chinese woman with long black hair wearing a pink silk dress and carrying flowers. I was so disappointed. Mom came down to see us open our gifts. What's wrong? She asked. Isn't that what you wanted? But I asked for a China doll, I said. You know, with the clay head. But it is a Chinese doll, Mom said, and her head is made out of porcelain. I even ordered it from China. It took a little while to explain. Finally, Mom said, I'm sorry it wasn't what you wanted, but do you like the doll anyway? I looked at the doll. She had a nice face. It wasn't her fault she wasn't the same as the pioneer girls. Oh well, I said. I guess I can pretend I'm a pioneer girl in China. Chapter 28. Here comes Chinese New Year. The one holiday Mom and Dad did know how to celebrate was Chinese New Year. Sometimes we thought they celebrated it too well, especially when Mom made us clean. Pacey, clean the mirrors, Mom would say. Lishi, vacuum the carpet. Kai Kai, polish the furniture. Everything has to be clean for Chinese New Year. And we would have to sweep and mop and brush and polish everything. We were glad when we were finished. After that, Mom and Dad took out their Chinese New Year decorations. Mom hung up a bright red sign with a black Chinese symbol on it upside down on our door. It says, Good luck, Mom told us. Hanging it upside down means good luck has already come in. Mom took us shopping for new clothes. Everything has to be new for the new year, she told us. Oh, and I have to cut your hair, too. Mom always cut our hair as part of the New Year tradition. We had to cut it the day before New Year's because it was bad luck to cut your hair on New Year's Day. Mom had us sit on the high stool in the kitchen and put a big white plastic cloth around our necks. Then she would wear her red and green plaid raincoat, take out her scissors, and cut our hair. Lishi wanted to get her hair cut at a fancy salon in the mall, but Mom said it was too expensive. But I want it to look good, Lishi pouted. They cut it just the same, Mom said. No, Lishi said. A girl in my class says they cut her hair in layers. That's American hair, Mom said. You can't cut our hair in that special way. It's too straight. But if you cut it, Lishi said, it'll look just like Pacey's and Kai Kai's hair. I'm older. Mine should look different. Okay, I'll cut it differently, Mom said. Did I ever tell you about the time they cut my hair in school? Haircut at school. Do you remember how I told you that the schools in Taiwan were different from here? Every day our uniforms had to be crisp and spotless, and our hair had to be straight and combed, and never longer than our ears. They were very strict about these rules. Every day when we entered the school building, a teacher waited at the door to inspect us. She was a horrible woman. She had a long, sharp nose, like a knife, and her hair was pulled back so tightly that it looked like it was painted onto her skull. She was always watching and waiting, her eyes scanning for any imperfections. My hair always grew so fast. Grandma had to cut it all the time, much more than she cut my sister's hair. I hated getting my hair cut. I always felt like it was such a bother. But one day, on my way to school, I touched my hair. It was just a little bit longer than my ears, but it was longer by such a small amount that I ignored it. I thought the teacher wouldn't notice. But as I got closer to the school, I began to feel nervous. I could see her at the door, studying the line of students, the same way a hungry cat would study a line of mice. I fluffed my hair up, hoping that would make it look shorter. I saw a group of girls in front of me. I joined them, staying at the back. I hoped that they would hide me. But they didn't. As I walked through the door, the teacher pointed at me. She pointed at me with a stern face that seemed to be made of steel. "No!" she barked at me like an army sergeant. "Your hair is too long!" I felt like a fish trapped under frozen water as she reached into her pocket and took out a pair of scissors. She seized a handful of my hair, and I felt the cold metal points on my neck. Snip, snip! I saw my hair flutter down to the ground like a dying moth. "Go," the teacher said. Like a rabbit hearing a gun fired, I jumped away. While I hurried away from her, I touched my hair, and I almost stopped still from shock. She had only cut one side. One side was cut very short, above my ear, while the other side was below my ear. It was lopsided. I looked so ridiculous. For the whole day, I had to have that bad haircut. Mom finished. As soon as school was over, I ran all the way home so Grandma could cut it all one length. "That's not the kind of different I mean," Lishi said. "I know," Mom said. When Lishi's hair was done, I thought it looked the same as always, but Mom got a curling iron and curled her bangs and brushed them out. Lishi's hair was all fluffy like a poodle's, but when Lishi looked in the mirror, she was happy.